Okay, so this is going to be the first video, which is kind of weird, even though I'm almost through the day. But bottom line, big disaster, lost my GoPro. I'll talk about that in a moment. But I will share a little bit about the first part of the day. So that first part to Harkness Hut was really not that difficult. Probably, they say like 2 hours. It took me about an hour and a half. The downhills, there are a few steep downhills, couple short, steep uphills. But, if you're doing this, you could easily just put an hour and a half on and get to Harkness. And the reason is because Harkness to Tussock is a nightmare. When I read in the hut book at Harkness, I saw someone made a comment that said an Aborigine and his dog would have a hard time finding the way to this hut from Tussock. And I'm like, oh no. And but it's like I'm right in the middle of the trip. There's nowhere I can go except backwards, and certainly not doing that. So what ended up happening was is basically you're winding along a river and crossing it back and forth, which is a stream. It's not a river, it's a stream. It really wasn't that bad. But at one point, I missed a exit to the left that would have taken me high up on the ridge. And I ended up walking upriver for a while. I took a little side stream off the side at one point and realized, oh, that's not going well, so I had to come back. But yeah, I just couldn't find that. And then I was looking at my GPS map, and I could see the line up above. If even standing in the water, I could see a line on the ridge where there's probably a path. And I looked at the GPS, and it was right up there. I just had to bush bash my way up. So it didn't look too bad, and so I thought I'm going to go for it. Well, I should have known better. But that Manuka scrub, it's impossible. I don't know how deer get through it. And so, bush bashing up in there, and then, lost the GoPro at that one point. And I think from there, I will now cut to the video that I made after I decided I wasn't going to bush bash, and I went back down the river and walked for a while. So it's a sad thing. The GoPro is kind of old. It needed to be replaced anyway, so it's not devastating except that I lost all this morning's videos. And now videoing the rest of this trip is from my iPhone, which is going to be a little bit more complicated with some of the difficult shots because I got to handhold it, but just be understanding on that. But I'm a wreck. I mean, my hat, I haven't changed this since all that bush bashing. My legs, that it was cold this morning, so I was wearing the leggings all the way up, and one stayed up, the other rolled down. I'm going to fix those, but yeah, fortunately the backpack didn't get ripped. I didn't lose anything else off the backpack, so I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, oh well, such is life. Well, that was the absolute dumbest thing I could have done. I'm supposed to be up there on a trail up that way that kind of cuts his bluff. So I decided I was going to try and go up to it. And that scrubby stuff is a lot thicker than it looks. And somewhere up there is my GoPro. I lost it. And then I did a dumb thing. I dropped my backpack and sticks and tried to trace my way back. And that didn't work. And then I lost my backpack. So what I thought would save me a little bit of time going up over the hill ended up costing me probably an hour and my GoPro. So that was just a dumb thing to do. Lesson learned. Okay, So I lost all of this morning's. That's frustrating, but I'll sort that out, the hut. Okay, here's another attempt. That up there, where the trail is, got a little bit of a valley up in here. Not quite as much of that manuka. So I'm going to try it again because this goes way around. And I still like to try to make Boyd Hut by today. I'm talking like you've seen all the video from earlier. I'll have to figure all that out later. But I still like to make it to Boyd. It's only 12 o'clock now. If I could get to the hut by like 1, 2 o'clock and then to Boyd Hut, we'll see what happens from there. So I'm going to give it another go, see what happens. Well, this is a lot better. This is what I was hoping the other stuff was going to be. I'm near the top. And there's the pole. About 2.5 kilometers that direction to the hut. Do you see the poles I'm chasing? Yeah, they don't really stick out, do they? And there's the hut. I'm only here about an hour and 15 minutes later than I wanted to be. I still got time to get to Boyd, but I will definitely have a lunch and take a break and assess what just happened. It's a big hut, 8 beds, well stocked. All right, I'm going to take a lunch here and then head on. And if it's not good enough, it decides to rain. Fortunately, I think I'm in the trees for a lot of the next section. They give me a little bit of protection. It does look like it's blowing over. But it was 23 a little while ago, and it's dropped down to about 14. So pretty cold. All right, just about ready to go, and I'm heading out through that way. This first bit, I got like this, the biggest climb today, 160 meters. And then from there, it's pretty much downhill to the next hut where I'm staying tonight, Boyd Hut. All right, here we go. Okay, big climb is done. Now I'll walk along here on the top for a little bit and then a descent to the Vic River. And then Boyd Hut is past that. We're getting there. This side of Tussock Hut, the trail is really nice again. Very easy. Of course, we're back in the woods, in the beech forest, and they leave an easy trail, except when you get in the ferns. The ferns love to cover up the trail. Okay, I'm at the river. It's not that bad. Pretty shallow. over, I'm going to pick the trail up on the other side yet. So I'm just going to cross and see what happens. Only shin deep. And look, on the other side, I don't know if you can see them, but I found poles. And carry on. Well, I made it to the hut, finally. There's a couple of hunters here. It's the first people I've seen since those two trampers the first day, so about 4 days. I'm exhausted. I'm glad there wasn't more ascents than we had. It ended up being right about 18.25 kilometers. So it's a little bit further than what the map showed, but I also did my own tiki tour down the river and also up in the scrub. But from that point, the rest of the day was pretty nice, frankly. The closest I've got to a South Island river valley right before the hut coming down here. That was pretty nice. Just such tall tussock grass made the trail a little bit hard to find it sometimes, but yeah, so I'm going to see if I can get a little intel from these two hunters about my way out tomorrow. But should have a relatively easy day. This is the Cowweckas, so who knows. All right, so I've set up my room, and I'm going to filter in some water, and we'll go from there. While the two hunters are off, I'll give you a tour of this hut. It's really nice. So this is one room. They've claimed that room, which is great. And then I have an identical room over here on the side. Plenty of space. So there's like 16 beds here. And then this is the common room in the middle. Big dining room table, bench top, water on the inside, fireplace, some wood there. I don't know if we'll get a fire going tonight, but yeah, this is a really, really nice hut, and that's the view looking out the front. You know, I was thinking a little while ago, someone's probably going to ask, what would you have done if you couldn't have found your backpack? Well, I'd have sat down and cried for a little bit, I think. And then once I got myself together, I would have remembered that my watch has been tracking me every step. And while, again, I don't know that I trust GPS 100% out here, it certainly would have led me back to the spot where I turned around. I mean, I would have to done some figuring out, but I would have eventually found it, and I did. Why didn't I do that with the camera? Well, because I had no idea exactly where I lost the camera. And even if I did, I mean, the scrub was just punching and pushing and twinging. It probably ripped my camera off and threw it somewhere a couple of meters away, you know, so there's no way I was ever going to find that GoPro. So, yeah, lesson learned. Don't ever try to crash through Manuka. It just doesn't work.